Well, welcome to RCG 380 show. We got some special guests over here. We have Chris and Diane. Diane has a very special moment in Ann V. Graziani history. They only want to throw a strike for first pitch. Want to tell us about the whole entire process of getting ready?
Oh, the entire process. Hadn't picked up a ball since high school. Okay. And that was 1991 I graduated. So it was like my sister called and she's like, you're going to have an experience. And life is all about experiences. And I said, what do you have me doing? And she's like, you're going to throw the first pitch. And I was like, what? So we own our own little business. And the day of, it's like, okay, bring our gloves, and for about 2 hours, I'm outside throwing with Chris to make sure I can actually my arm still works to throw. And then getting to the stadium, very surreal, being surrounded by a lot of family and friends, supporters, so it's like, I don't want to screw this up. And then being on that mound, wow.
What's that feel?
Amazing. Feeling like I've done something right. And being surrounded and looking not so much at the stands, just little girls that came to support my children, my husband, my sister, meeting you for the first time and getting a dose of what you do was amazing. And then it was kind of a calming feeling right before having to do it. And the catcher was amazing. I forget his name, but he was just like, it's just me and you.
It was Wally Backman. The manager
was, yeah. The manager.
But the catcher was great too.
Yeah.
The one who actually caught the ball. He was just
yes.
Yeah. They talk about framing a pitch, and he was very good. He was just calm and very cool.
He made me feel calm.
Yeah.
And then it was showtime, and it's an experience that I will forever hold on to, and it was great.
That's
great.
Awesome. Yeah. Were you throwing strikes beforehand? How was she?
She was a little rough in the beginning, but she picked it up quickly.
She knocking down fabrics.
She's she's an athlete for sure, and always was. And so the softball throw came right back in.
Yeah, but I was center field, so center field's a lot different than being on the mound.
That's all right. You can still pretend it was center field and throw
right down the middle.
That's it.
Perfect strike.
Crazy, but fun.
Yeah, it was. Now your children were there. What were they like?
The kids were so supportive. They look at me, and I sometimes think they think I'm a clown because I just want to enjoy life. I'm not afraid. I just want to experience. Yes, it's hard putting yourself out there, but I have to show them. And we had neighbors, little girls around the block who were my cheerleaders through, everything that I'd gone through, and just a lot of support. So knowing that you have this support, it's like, let's go. And they felt that way as well. They were like, we're not in this alone. No. We have a lot of backup.
Makes for a good day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fun day.
You guys were amazing, great energy. So the smile on the kids' faces, and they got to go down there and everything.
Yeah, it's different being on the field for sure.
Right?
There's
great
a lot of
feeling.
energy there.
And then even being up above, and we're all sitting with you, and then the duck came, and it was a lot of fun.
That duck had a little attitude, I think.
Yeah.
He was mad I threw a strike.
Yeah.
So those quackers.
Yeah.
And it's funny because we took the kids there. I mean, we both love sports. It's just a great place.
Yeah, it is.
To see a game.
Yeah, it's very intimate.
We've been there, but yeah, to be on the field, big difference.
Yep.
Yeah, it definitely it's a surreal feel. But then you pay it forward. You've been paying forward since. Now, if you could just give a background of everything.
So I think we're about 4.5 years later, and it was November 3rd, And I had gotten tuna fish, and I wanted to eat it for lunch. And I took a bite out of it. I have celiac disease, so I was like, oh, I went to Uncle Giuseppe's. Is there no breading in this? There's no breading. I ate it, and 15 minutes later, I had the worst pain in my entire life in my stomach. And I said, something's not right. And went home, took my kid to basketball, and was in the fetal position, sleeping that night, and then called my gastro doctor, and I said, something's not right. I think maybe I'm having a celiac attack or something. He's like, come on in. And that's when it all started.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the one thing you don't even think of. Just a general lunch, and then, it's, life-changing.
Life-changing.
Altering.
And, at that point, I was by myself, and he's like, okay, you got to go for a CT scan. I'm like, why? He's like, let's just see what's going on. And I was like, okay. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe my appendix or, maybe something, is not right. I'll never forget the women who were around me getting scans that day. They hooked me up, and contrast, did not know what contrast was. And okay, let's see what's going on. And they said I could leave, and I felt like I had the get out of jail card. So I just went speeding home in the Jeep, and I said, I'm starting to feel better. Maybe everything's okay. And I remember saying something that, looking back, was probably the worst thing anybody could say. I said, you know what? If I don't even find out what this was, I'm okay with that.
Oh.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
You gotta make sure.
You gotta find out.
You need to know what you're dealing with. So that's how the beginning started. And a lot of testing was done, and testing that actually said you're okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you got a lot of false positives.
Correct.
Before that.
Yeah.
A lot of conflicting results.
Something that I speak to a lot of women going through obstacles that they're dealing with, and my family, and a lot of them will say, we would have stopped at that point. And that point was, you're fine. This is nothing to do with gynecological. This probably is something more with your intestines, or go back to your gastro doctor.
Okay.
And my gynecologist called me, and she said, I need you to go get a CA-125 number checked. I said, what is that? I had no idea. She goes, it's a cancer marker. And I said, why are you doing this to me? She goes, honey, something is wrong, and we need to know. I said, okay. And so many women, and like I said, family too, they would have been like, no, I did the scan, the internal, everything is fine. I'm done.
Yeah.
We're okay. And I listened to everything my doctors say.
Okay.
So we went, and I ended up getting an MRI, and the MRI showed something was there, but everybody was so confused by it. It didn't look like what cancer typically looks like. There was very little disease surrounding something, what they described as a mass. And I was hooked up with my lifesaver, my oncologist, who I just absolutely love and adore. And we've become good friends. And and she is about 5'0", little bitty.
I don't think she's 5 feet.
And she is no joke. So she was like, I'm going to give you a major surgery.
Okay.
And are you okay with that? I said, you have to do whatever you have to do to keep me here for my family and my kids.
Absolutely.
She said, you're prepared for a full hysterectomy? If I have to do what? What was the other thing that she said?
Pull your ovaries.
No, but also she said, I want to open you up. I don't want to look through a little pinhole laparoscopically.
Yeah, there you go.
I want to open you up. So going into it, we still didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, she didn't know. Nobody knew. Like
All
I
right.
said, there was conflicting information. So that's one of the reasons she wanted to go in and just, see for herself with her own
Get
eyes.
everything resolved.
Yep.
Yeah.
So November 3rd became surgery December 10th. And December 10th, Dr. Lisa DeSantos saved my life.
Thank God for her.
And thank God for her. I pray for her constantly. Because she went in and she just kept going, and she did a lot of things that I don't know if every surgeon does. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I don't know. But she just, she was on a mission. And she had to deliver at then 5:33 p.m. on December 10th, when I finally started coming through, that it was cancer.
Yeah, you heard the C word.
I heard the C word. I don't like the C word.
No.
And my first response, and she can't believe that I still remember this, I said, when do we start chemo? And she goes, you got to recover from this major surgery.
Wow.
And I said, okay.
Where are you getting the strength from?
We can do this.
You're just like...
I had no choice. But I felt a presence. I'm a very spiritual person.
Yes.
At that 5:33, when I started coming through, I sat up and I started feeling to the right of me. Chris, you were to the left of me.
Correct.
And I couldn't figure out who was to the right of me. And I just kept going like this, and I knew somebody was there. And that was a pretty amazing feeling. Scary, very scary. And I kept saying, was that you to the right of me? Because I don't remember you being in the room when she told me that it was C.
No, it was, like you said, I was to the left. And I don't know, you were kind of in and out of stuff. And, exactly who spiritually was to the right of you. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know now.
But,
Yeah. Just this past year, my brother texts, I have two sisters and a brother, and we text a lot. And on December 10th this past year, he goes, it would have been Grandpa's birthday. I said, oh my goodness, that's who it was. That's who was by my side.
Yeah.
December 10th. I never realized.
put the two together, yeah.
Yeah. So, and then I had this great priest come to visit me.
Okay.
And he started my journey,
Okay.
the healing process of my journey.
That's so important.
So important. I was
Yeah.
scared. I was really scared. And I'm very...
Did it grow you closer to God, or
In the beginning, no.
it didn't?
No, I was afraid.
Okay.
And that's what he was trying to... It's almost like he knew I was afraid. And he said, do you pray a lot? I said, I pray a lot. I'm not ready to see him yet. I don't want to see the big guy.
Right.
And he's like, what makes you worried? And I said, well, what do you mean? And he goes, what is your fear? And I said, oh, I'm afraid of the water, but I still go in it. I still swim.
Okay.
So I'm afraid of the unknown. And he said, I was told you had a major surgery and you have a major road ahead of you. I said, I know. I said, but I'll be okay. I'll be all right.
All right.
And I think for the most part, I think we did a darn good job pulling it together.
Absolutely.
You guys did phenomenal.
I had the easy part. He had the hard part.
I disagree.
You had the hard part. He had to tell the kids. He had to pull the kids out of school and tell them what just transpired.
Yeah, that's probably the roughest.
It's not a pleasant experience for sure. So Maddie was
Ninth grade,
ninth grade.
Okay.
first year
And,
of high school.
So freshman in high school.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that, you get that news, you hear you hear the word, and you think about all the things that, you're going to have to go through.
Yeah.
How do you convey that? So,
Yeah.
for me, what I try to do is focus on both the truth of the situation and then also the positive. Okay? So, yes, your mom had cancer, but now it's out. And now you begin to heal. That's for me.
Don't cry on me. We tell you all the time you're an ugly crier. And that's what they said to him when he picked them up at school to let them know. And
Oh, so it was on the ride home from school.
Yeah.
Oh,
and he just said,
it's a lot.
it's a lot.
Yeah.
But they made it easy on you. They said, so mommy had it.
Yes.
They wanted to know.
It's going to be okay.
They also wanted to know, what do they say to their peers? When it starts to come out.
Yeah.
It's true.
Like, so mommy had cancer, but she no longer has cancer.
Okay.
Right.
And
it's physically out of her, so now
it's
the
gone.
healing begins.
Yes.
And that's all they needed to know. So it's okay. It's out. The bad is out.
Right.
And now we just have to make sure the bad stays out.
Right.
So it's preparing them for future doctor visits.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's acclimating to the process, obviously, because it's a journey and you have to go through it. And like you said, there's the fear of the unknown, right?
Yeah.
And it's just, I guess that's part of healing, or at least normalizing what you're going through, is just, accepting it on a certain level, but then at the same time not accepting, the negative outcomes. Yeah. And keeping hope alive and focusing on the positives. And, that's in talking to them, like I said, I try to be, honest and truthful and everything else, but at the same time, you don't want to dwell on the negatives. You definitely want to dwell on the positives and focus on what you got to do next.
Yeah.
So keep it moving forward.
So we became a very small, tight knit. I don't like to say, what do I say?
I would say that we closed ranks as the family, and you learn very quickly.
Who to weed out?
Well, not necessarily who to weed out, but from the standpoint of family, who you can go for certain things. Like your sister Mary is just, she's one of
rock.
she's one of these people with, you talk about having a big engine, okay? Yeah. And she is just nonstop. She's got a big motor, and, you can always go to her and she'll always, show up. She always will. So you learn certain things, and then, strategically who to talk to and stuff like that. So it's, you close ranks and you figure it out.
And I think, honestly, like even in speaking to women, I always want to be there for somebody. And the first thing I'll always let these women know is the hardest part is just getting you set up, finding your person.
And these are support groups that you talk at?
Yeah, it's really word of mouth, and people, I'm not afraid. I don't look at somebody who's battling. I just want their energy, and I want to give them my energy. I want them to know it's okay. The worst part is over. You got the diagnosis. Okay. The rest is easy.
Okay.
And I will help you through the rest of it, because I can talk you through the rest of it.
And you're like a 360 with nutrition, the working out, God. So what's one thing that you tell people that, like, listen, at night it gets the best of me?
Yeah.
What would you, do you tell them? Is it prayer? Look for something? Is there a key?
Meditation. And meditation's not easy. Or for me, it wasn't easy. But I taught myself that I have to meditate, because the nighttime was my spiraling points. Mm-hmm. And everybody's asleep, and you want everybody to get that sleep. But how do you get that sleep? And a lot of it was just trying to calm the nerves down through meditation, breathing exercises, listening to music, going to salt caves, I was open to everything.
That's awesome. What was the one thing you're like, wow, this is like something I wouldn't expect that I would like, that I found a difference in? What was that?
And that's
It could be two.
that's a good question. Meeting phenomenal nurses and empathy from a lot of the places I had to go for my treatment, and just even where I got my surgery. That was a hard door to go through. So how am I going to get myself through that door? Well, when I went through that door looked like a hotel. So I envisioned myself checking myself into a fabulous hotel for the next few days. And that's how I try and look at any uncomfortable thing that I needed to do during this time. Look for the positive, speak to people. You learn when you speak to people. You feed off of each other's energy. And I did things that I probably never would have done until this happened. And a lot of that, taking my spirituality to even a higher level, and on a mission to continue to learn and teach myself how to live in the present, how to live in the moment, and what makes you feel good. And we're textile designers, and I speak color is my language. Color makes me feel good. I had somebody actually teach me that don't be afraid of colors, because she asked me, what is a color that frightens you? And I said, black. And I said, but I wear black a lot. So I don't know why I just said black.
Yeah.
And I now know why black was. Black, when I am in my meditation, you're in space and it's dark. And I used to be afraid of the dark. So it was the heaviness. I thought black was a heavy color. I don't think black's a heavy color anymore.
Okay, that's great.
But so I try, when I'm not feeling good, I try and think of what color can I be to make myself feel good inside.
That's so interesting. And let's talk about your business. Tell me about it. It's textile business, obviously. You guys have been running for how long?
We've been doing it for 30 years. But right before I was diagnosed, I started my own business. So that was right in the beginning of getting this diagnosis.
Oh, wow.
And we kept it hidden. My clients didn't need to know what was going on. I didn't want to be the, oh my God, are you okay? And I needed my business to make me feel I am okay. Be surrounded by color, be surrounded by fabric.
So in a way, it was like therapeutic.
Yeah.
Totally therapeutic.
Oh, okay.
So it's almost like compartmentalizing things. You've got, you have your real stuff that you have to deal with, but at the same time, if you can get yourself out of that, and into a different space physically, and mentally, then it helps a lot. And being, we print on textiles and print on fabric. And that's, like she said, it's a lot of color and it's a lot of creativity, and that's an escape, because when you're doing that, for us, it's like going back to preschool and coloring, when you're a little kid and stuff like that. So, there's nothing bad in there. So it's cool.
It's very cool. Yeah, I could totally see that, because then, you're lost almost in your creativity.
Yes. And creativity, you just nailed it. Like creativity, and that's when I work with women, I'm like, make it a creative day.
Yeah.
If it's a hard day, do something to make it a creative day.
Right. Do something fun.
Yeah. It's okay to keep life, as you guys keep talking about, positivity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a big part, obviously.
Wasn't going to stop, and I wasn't going to let it take that from me. No way. No way.
And then you're paying it forward. And then let's talk about Ava and, how involved in...
So hard. So that was a year after, so December 10th surgery, last chemo in May. Then I started 22 rounds of a drug called Avastin. So that was another year and a half. And then I think it was September Yeah, it was September because it was the first day of school. We get the call that my daughter's good friend was diagnosed with cancer. And that was a hard thing. Very, very hard. But I knew the family, not as well as I know them now, and I just love them. But that night I went over to their house, and that was a pretty ballsy move thinking about it. You know, like here I am just hearing, and no one's stopping me.
You're very passionate when you know.
Yeah.
There
was no, and I gave a necklace that one of my surgeons had given to me, and it was just like, she's going to be okay. She's going to be okay. We're going to make sure she's going to be okay. That was tough.
Yeah.
You know, me, one thing. With the child, no. Please, no.
Yeah. Go through that, and then you paid forward also helping, doing scholarships with them.
Ava's mom, she's an amazing woman. I mean, if we can all learn something from somebody, her energy is just, you want to just be around her.
Absolutely.
Like,
she's another one that won't quit.
Okay. Yeah.
She just keeps going.
Yeah, and it's just like, we're all in this together. Let's figure this out. Let's figure this journey out. And we're referenced as Ava's Army, and great group of women who are on a mission to, help, just want something done in honor of Ava. We're there, and we'll figure out a way to help and do
that's
it.
Community. Can somebody look it up?
Yes. Yep. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Ava's Army. We try and, do little fundraisers. We try and, help wherever we can. And Jess really is about community, because she feels like, the whole community had her and her family's back. She wants to do the same. And that's why the scholarship is huge. That matters a lot to Jess, and I get that.
Absolutely. They're big into lacrosse, the whole family. Okay. And growing up, they were the coaches. And so, the community came to them to learn lacrosse. And so it's one of those things that it centers around Ava, but it's an extension of that, not only in the high school, but also, in the lacrosse community and stuff like that. So it's a way to keep Ava here and with us and now and present and just move forward.
One of her nurses is going to be doing, is it the Boston Marathon? I believe I might have that wrong, but she's going to be, running everyone. I mean, you talk about a fighter. That little girl had the best smile, best smile. And just, when kind of going through different things together, she just was a light. She was a light. She was an angel that we all had here, and now she's, an angel surrounding us.
Watching us. Yeah.
Watching us, for sure.
So, just one last thing. I know God's very important in your lives. Somebody's going through something, like, what can you, to grow closer or just to know that can help somebody, what would you say to them?
Energy, oxygen, keep moving, keep going. This is just a little something that's inside that either gets removed, however, but it doesn't stop you. Don't let it stop you. Just keep going.
Keep going.
Go through the storm, right? Like you always hear, like you could either run away from the storm and the storm eventually catches up to you, or you could go through the storm and get out of that storm a lot faster by going through it.
That is amazing. I really appreciate both of you.
Thank you, Rob.
Thank you for sharing your stories.
Thank you for the work that you do too. It's amazing. It really is.
Really appreciate it.
That Ducks game. I mean, we all live for moments, And that was an incredible moment. It really
It's
was.
a moment we'll never forget.
You're welcome. I appreciate being part of you guys' lives.
Thank you.
Really.
Thank you.
I always remember.
We're
it.
still going to get you over for Christmas Eve dinner because
I can't wait. Yeah. Forget it. You won't get me to leave.
It's part of the fun.
Right? Yeah, yeah, I'll be there.
Okay.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining RCG 380 and have a wonderful day.